been abusive. They have been threatening. There have been threats of violence. Not just. There have been quite a lot of ill will wished against myself, other councillors and their families, but there have been specific threats made against our families and ourselves. And while I can chalk that up partly to the misunderstanding of what the council's position was, following on from the newspaper article that was printed, having now explained exactly what the situation is, and everybody online seems to be quite well versed in this. There are copies of the council statements all over various different blogs and websites, so people are well aware what the position is now. And frankly, if these sort of emails and threats continue to come in, then I'm certainly going to feel that I have no other choice. Obviously I can't speak for other councillors, but I certainly feel I would have no other choice but to start reporting these people to Strathclyde Police, because I'm not willing for my family to be put through that. I'm a fairly robust individual, at least I like to think I am. I get into politics knowing I was going to be in the front line, knowing I was going to be in the firing line here for things that I say and do, knowing that I was going to have to step up and back up things that I say and do, and knowing that people weren't always going to agree with me. I mean, it's simply not possible. But the contact that we've had, and the fact that it's now been directed at essentially our children and our families, is quite frankly disgusting. And from people who claim to be peace-loving individuals that are standing up for a righteous cause, as they say, these fanatics. And I'm talking about these specific emails, these fanatic zealots that have been emailing us. It doesn't really tie in. The words that you're putting down, the threats you're putting down, don't really tie in with what you say you support. There we go. I want to make it clear that this council remains committed to our boycott of Israeli goods, perhaps even more so now following certain emails that we have received from people threatening us and our families. That doesn't have the effect to make us back off in Scotland. That just tends to get our backs up in Scotland. Resolve is more than ever now to continue with this boycott of Israeli goods, this perfectly legal, perfectly legitimate, and I think perfectly right boycott on Israeli goods. We will not be bullied. We will not be bullied by you or anybody else into backing down on this. That's not how this works. We will not be bullied into taking a lesser position on this matter. The position is clear and continues to remain the same. There's one blog online that I stopped commenting on. I'll post a link to this video on it, but I'm not going to. I said I wouldn't comment anymore on it, and I'm not going to. I started to get. I'm annoyed with myself because I started to get angry at some of the comments that were being made. I mean, I certainly don't appreciate being compared to a Nazi. I mean, the first time I got an email that suggested that, I was sick there and then. I was physically sick there and then. I mean, it's horrible. I can't think of anything worse to be accused of. I really can't. And it's the one thing that is beginning to get to me. As I said, I like to consider myself a fairly robust individual, but that's one that really sticks. Being accused of being akin to something like that. It's It's disgusting. It really is just disgusting. But anyway, so as I said, I let it get to me. No, let it get to me now actually. But I let it get to me, and started going off at tangents with my arguments. And in the end, I thought, just leave it. There's no point in getting involved in this blog. Just leave it. These emails coming in, it's just forget it. So but I'll post a link to the show. But this my point was, I'll get back to the points. I was going to throw myself there. On this blog, there was a suggestion that if we were really serious about this, we would throw out our mobile phones, we'd stop using our computers because a lot of the technology originated in Israel. The chips are manufactured in Israel. I was told that counsellors should make sure that they no longer use various different medical techniques. If they end up in hospital, they should allow themselves to die because these techniques were developed in Israel. This is the sort of ludicrous comments that people are coming up with. I've tried to explain what this boycott is about. It's not about the council being anti anything to do with Israel. It's not about the council being anti anything to do with Israel. It's about a symbolic gesture, essentially, where we are saying that we believe what you're doing is wrong. We believe what you're doing is wrong, and you should take a look at that. And in order to back that up, in order to put that forward, we are boycotting Israeli goods. We are not going to import anything directly from Israel. Now, our mobile phones, I didn't buy my mobile phone from Israel. I've got a personal mobile phone. I bought my mobile phone from a car phone warehouse shop in Glasgow. I didn't buy it from Israel. That's what we're talking about here. I don't plan to go to Israel to have any medical techniques used on me. I don't. The council has never, and certainly has no plans, or had no plans even before the boycott, to purchase computers directly from Israel. We buy it from at the time it would be the local authorities buying consortium. I can't think what it's called now, but there are places where we buy stuff from, places where we buy goods from. So those comments are just ridiculous when you know what it's actually about. And really, that's about all for this video blog. I think I've said most of what I wanted to say. No doubt this will spawn torrents of abuse on the YouTube feed underneath. We'll get the usual idiots posting their hatred underneath it. But that's as you want. Up to you guys what you want to do. There will be some that want to have a discussion about it, but certainly I'm not going to be responding to any of the comments on YouTube. This is just for information, putting it up there. Take it or leave it. But, I'll include a full statement on my website, cover anything that I think I might have missed in this, and clarify a few points. So anyway, thank you very, very much for taking the time to listen to this, and wish